A little over 2 months into the season so far, what are you seeing from Juan at the plate and how it's going for him so far?
The thing is, I've been a fan of his since he broke in with the Nationals, and he coming in at 19 years old. Same thing I did at 19. I think obviously his track record speaks for itself. He's going to be okay, but unfortunately, he's in a situation where you mentioned he set the bar so high his first 6 years, where the expectation is going to be there, and then you throw in the contract he just signed. Everybody's expecting everything. It happens so fast. Unfortunately, every little thing that happens now, they point at him with a lot of stuff. And being a young guy, I think hopefully, I think they got good ownership there. The manager, I know Mendy a little bit, then pull him aside, talk to him a little bit. So I'm sure there's a lot of pressure on him because this is the first time where he's been dependent on, even though you got Alonso, you got Lindor there, but when it was with the National, you had Harper. When it was with San Diego, you had Machado and Tatis coming in. Last year, obviously, he had Judge. So now, even though he has Pete and Lindor, but he's expected to be the guy, the main guy. So all the focus is on him and what he does. And sometimes the little things get turned into big things. But hopefully, I'd love to talk to him one day just to talk to him about my experiences from everything that's went on. But at the end of the day, I think he's going to be okay. I mean, a lot of guys come there, it's a different atmosphere or what you have, and they go through different things. But I still feel with his talent and he's so young, he's going to be all right at the end of the day.
When you signed any type of contract, obviously there's some pressure that comes with it, but signing a $765 million, not many people will ever know what that feels like. But when you sign a contract, do you feel sort of like a pressure to contribute right away and like be the difference maker for the entire team and organization?
Yeah, I think so. And not only that, like even I remember when a guy signed for $10 million back in my day, that was a big deal. Now this is where the market is with Otani's contract. He's living up to his, and Glad Guerrero doing it as well. Anytime you sign a big contract with a new team, the expectations from the fans, from the media, the organization, and what you put on yourself is going to be there. So you just got sometimes you got to go back to the basics, just to do the little things that made it fun for you, and break it back down and just it's still a baseball game and enjoy it because he got to look at the money that he made. He earned that, but now he's in a situation where he should be able to relax. You would think, but the added pressure does play the part. It just takes time sometimes because we forget he's 26 years old, and he never been through this before. And playing in New York, he just needs somebody around him or somebody in his ear to let him know it's going to be okay. And then sometimes just go right back to the basics, the fundamentals, and not try to, every bat feel like I got to, hit a double, I got to hit a home run. Because when you do that, you tense up, tighten up, and all the pressure that you put on yourself, added pressure that you really don't need. And it's still a baseball game at the end of the day. And he's proven he can play the game. And the other added pressure that's going to be on him that people don't talk about, because of the contract you mentioned, because of who he is, the pitchers that face him, they're going to be all out, trying to do their best to get him out because of that. We all have egos, and we all want to play against the best, and we want to show we can get the best out too. And you got to throw that in as well.
And you mentioned kind of like just like the New York part of it. Do you buy into the fact that New York is almost like a different market to play? Because some people say like, oh, it's just another. You're playing a sport. There's nothing to it. But is there truly something about playing in New York that makes it just another level of competition and pressure?
Oh, yes, great question. Most definitely. I got to experience it on both sides. I mean, both sides. I started my career in New York, and it was nothing like playing in New York. I loved it. Played for both teams in New York. And then when I went to Cleveland, it was the opposite because I was used to the pressure, the expectation. If you have two bad games in a row, the headlines, Doc Gooden's done. You go to Cleveland. Well, I remember going to Cleveland. I had two bad starts. They say, "Oh, we sure Doc can figure it out." The fans are clapping, cheering you on and on. That don't happen in New York. And I'm sure this is the first time in his career that he's been through anything like this. Playing in New York is totally different. New York has messed up a lot of guys' careers, and not to point names or point fingers, but I played with Bobby Bonilla, who was from the Bronx, but it was a different breed. For him coming to New York, coming from Pittsburgh, it took him a while to get adjusted. Vince Coleman coming from St. Louis to New York, totally different. On the other side of New York, Jack McDowell from Chicago to New York was different. Ed Whistler from San Diego to the Yankees. All that went through that. So if you're not mentally tough playing in New York with the fan expectation, the media, and the pressure you put on yourself, it can get to you. Or it'll take a little time. I was lucky. Unfortunately, I had like Rusty Staub in my ear a lot because I remember my rookie year, I had a bad game. I didn't talk to the media. The next day, Rusty pulled me in the trainer's room and said, "Look, No matter what happens, be in front of your locker after the game. And that was good advice for me. And from that day, I was there. So you just got to take the good and the bad and understand if the fans are getting on you, they're not getting on you personally, they're getting on your performance. And if you can separate those two, you'll be fine.